Your doctor or surgeon will basically squeeze, he will squeeze that area. Medicine has advanced so much. You guys, people get a lot of shit done. This is not an ad, this is not sponsored in any way. I paid a huge amount of money, which I'm gonna tell you in a second. I tried to do tabby, but there was some complications. So when that money went from my bank account, my heart... Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I did a sit-down chit-chatty video. Now, if you've been following me for a while and you've seen my last two YouTube videos, you would know that I did an axillary breast surgery a month ago. It's basically that stubborn fat that a lot of us women have in our armpits, but turns out it's actually not fat at all. It was just eating away my confidence. So last month, I finally decided to get it surgically removed. I'm currently 30 days post-op and I had promised you guys that I would make an update video and sit and answer all your questions. So this is that video. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be posting a lot more updates of my surgery. And if you're new here, I highly recommend you go and watch part 1 of this axillary breast surgery series here. I had vlogged my entire surgery experience and what the first 7 days looked like. So that should give you a rough idea about what the surgery is. But for those of you who are new here, last year, over a period of 6 months, I think I gained like 7 to 8 kilos on the scale. With my weight gain, my breasts grew a lot. And with my breasts, so did this armpit fat or whatever that was, which I didn't know back then. So I decided to start losing weight, not just to lose that, but just to get my body in shape. So over the past 1 year or a little over a year, I have lost maybe 7.5 kilos on the scale. And although that armpit fat had come down drastically, there was still some left, which was not going. I tried cutting down sugar, tried cutting down carbs, tried going on a calorie deficit, daily walks every single day. It just would not go and it always sagged. So I finally booked a consultation with a plastic surgeon. And upon examining that area, he told me that it's actually not fat, it is breast gland. So if you have something like that, I want to start by saying it can be one of 3 things. It could either be fat, or it can be breast tissue, or it can be excess skin. How do you understand what this is? Your doctor or surgeon will basically squeeze, he will squeeze that area, and based on how it feels, he'll be able to tell. If it's fat, it's usually quite squishy, whereas if it's breast gland, it feels a little bit more fibrous, or if it's excess skin, you can also tell that. For me, it was mainly breast gland, but I also had a little bit of fat and I also had excess skin. So my surgeon recommended that I do lipo plus excision. So excision is where they make an excision and they take out the breast gland. And then he also said that he would remove a little bit of the excess skin that I had. When I first heard this, I wanted to run away and I got so upset because all along I thought that it would go away with fat loss or fat loss injections. But for me, it was never fat to begin with. And this is quite common for most women. Now, if it is fat, it's usually more visible on chubbier women, like women who gain weight. That's when it tends to be fat. But if you have lost weight or if you're skinny, but that's that area that is still hanging, there is a higher chance that it is just breast tissue. So once my surgeon told me that it's breast gland, I was really disappointed and disheartened. And it really stressed me out. But at the same time, I knew that this was something that I wanted to do. So within a few days, I went back to him, asked him a couple more questions, and I finally booked the closest surgery date. So I was not sitting on this decision for too long and letting myself get overwhelmed because I knew that at some point, I would have to do the surgery. So I did do the surgery. It was very smooth and I'm here to sit and answer all the questions that you have about it, which I used to have, but I didn't know who to ask. So let's jump into it. Number 1 is, how did you know that you had accessory breast tissue and not fat? I have just answered this. This is something that your surgeon will be able to tell once he touches your armpits. If it is fat, you can still kind of lose it with fat loss. However, usually fat in the armpits has been accumulated over a period of time. So after a point of time, it does not really respond to weight loss or fat loss injections as effectively. So even if it's fat, it's a little bit harder to lose, but then you would not have the scar or that excision because you'd basically do liposuction. So if you're fat, your option is liposuction. If you have breast gland, your option is excision. And if you have a mix of both, then you do both. Like in my case. The second question that I asked is, what kind of doctor do you go for this? Do you go to a gynac? You do not go to a gynac. You go to either a plastic surgeon or a breast surgeon. Please make sure that you're going to a good one because a good plastic surgeon will be able to take out the right amount of breast gland or fat or whatever it is. And the way in which he does the surgery will determine your scars, how visible it is, and your post-surgery healing. Even if you have to spend a little bit of money, make sure that you save up enough for it and that you are going to the right doctor. There are so many risks in general associated with surgery. Now, when it comes to your axillary breast surgery, there are so many aesthetic concerns that women have. Make sure that you're going to the right person. Now that we've spoken about, the prep and the main theory of it, let's actually get to the surgery day, the pain, the costs, what recovery looks like, all of that. Now, pre-surgery, you do need to get a detailed blood analysis this is basically sent to your anesthetist, who will look through your reports and see if you are fit for surgery. And once you get the go ahead, then they will book the surgery room for you and everything. Now, on the day of the surgery, my surgery was scheduled for 8 a.m. I had to reach at 6 or 6:30 so they could prep me. So that's basically just keeping my surgical site clean, dressing me up, giving me IB drips. And finally at 8 a.m. they gave me general anesthesia. All I remember was I was lying on the bed and I was going to the surgical room. And the next thing is that the surgery is done. I woke up, I was on my bed. It felt like I woke up from an amazing nap. So you don't feel anything. Now, let's talk about the pain levels. So on the day of the surgery itself, you basically feel nothing. So right after it, they had given me like this cotton pad and they put like this masking tape to hold like my armpit up. On the day itself, I could really move and do a couple of things, but obviously it feels a little bit tight. Then the next day, I had to go back to my doctor to change my dressing. The only thing that hurt here was just the tape that they stuck on the body, but your surgical site itself does not hurt because that area is cut up, okay? So that means you have no sensation there. Even now when I touch my like stitches, I don't feel anything, like there is no pain. So I would rate the pain like maybe not even a 1, like there's literally no pain, like a 0 on 10 on the day of the surgery. You don't feel anything. My surgery got done by around maybe 10:30, 11 a.m. and I was discharged on the same day. So this is a daycare surgery. You do not have to stay in the hospital overnight. You don't have to be admitted. When they see that you're fit to go, you go back home the same day. Next day itself, I could like brush my own teeth. I could not lift anything. I could not open doors. So my mom would do that for me. My mom also gave me showers like for the first, 1 week, just because you can't really move your arms too much. The discomfort basically starts after that. Like let's say maybe from day 5 onwards is when it starts. So day 5 to 15 is when I actually felt the most uncomfortable because this is when your body basically starts healing. So some of the discomfort that I faced during this time was that I had a lot of swelling here, which means that when I was like feeling like this area, especially my delt, there was a lot of tenderness. And another thing that I noticed was the inner arm. So the inner arm leading up to here. This area was also super sensitive. The compression garment that they gave me had sleeves, and whenever I would put it on or remove it, there would be like a lot of like sensitivity here. That's the only thing that I felt like was super uncomfortable. During this time, I also noticed that the nights that I slept with, let's say, a pillow propped up, like I slept on my back with 2 pillows under my elbows, the next day my arms would feel a lot better. I think it has something to do with like fluid drainage and all of that. If you are considering the surgery, this is just one thing to bear in mind. Make sure that you are sleeping well and you are sleeping in the right position. Your doctor can advise you on this, obviously, but for me, keeping 2 pillows underneath so that my hands were slightly propped up made a huge difference. Another question that I got asked a lot was, how many days off do I need to take from work? So if you are someone that works from home, you can basically start working the next day itself or the same day. That's okay, because I was able to edit, I was able to do all of that from my home, literally from the next day. But if you go to the office, I highly recommend you take at least 1 week off. The reason why you take 1 week off is because your arms are very sore, you don't want to extend too much, you're not able to open doors as easily. Like you don't want to give your body that much stress in the first week. And you are also not allowed to sweat because sweating can cause infection. It can cause that area to remain moist. Stay home for the first week. For me personally, it was literally from day 15 or 16 that I started feeling a lot better. Another question that I got is, what is the compression garment that you're wearing? Why do you need to wear compression garment? Is it compulsory? Now this I can tell you just from my own experience and from what I'm reading online. So I have been wearing my compression garment 24/7 for 1 month. I'm still wearing it actually. I just kind of unbuckled it for this video. But from my research, the compression garment that you wear in the first 30 days is basically what helps with your healing, your swelling, and also the general contour of your body. So after surgery, there obviously will be a lot of swelling and that area is slightly more loose. So making sure that you are snug and that your compression garment holds everything in place will help shape that surgical site. I wore my compression garment for like 24 hours for the first 2 to 3 weeks. Then after that, I started having shoots every once in a while. So I would have to remove it for like maybe 2 hours a day, but I would put it back immediately. I also wear it during my sleep. I wear it all the time. I just started wearing like modest covering stuff on top of it. At my recent follow-up, my nurse did tell me that I need to wear it for at least another 2 to 4 weeks more. So overall, it's about 6 to 8 weeks in total, but for the first 4 weeks, it is compulsory to wear it 24/7. I've received a lot of messages from girls who are telling me that the doctor hasn't recommended it. Obviously, I don't know more than their doctors, but just from my research that I'm seeing, a compression garment is extremely important. Even if your doctor tells you you don't need a compression garment, just like check again and again and again and ask him, okay, is there going to be any problem if I wear a compression garment? And if he says no, then might as well just wear it. just be on the safer side. Now let's talk about another important thing, which is scarring. Are you not worried about scars? What are you doing about your scar treatment? So at 30 days post-op, this is what my stitches look like. The scars personally does not bother me because I think what I was dealing with was a lot more annoying. So the scars are fine. Like, I truly think that my surgeon did such an incredible job because you can barely see it. Yes, when you zoom in and when you look at it, you can see that line. For the most part, it's not that big of a deal. So on my recent follow-up, my surgeon did tell me that after 2 weeks, which is 6 weeks post-op, we will start our scar treatments. Now, when it comes to the scarring, he mentioned that there are 2 things that can happen. Number 1, your scars could get bumpy, or number 2, your scars can get dark. If it is bumpy, I will get started on silicone scar sheets, and if it is dark, he's going to prescribe lightening creams for me. So at the moment, at 4 weeks post-op, I'm basically not doing anything because we're trying to see how my body naturally responds. And at 6 weeks post-op is when we will begin. So I'll keep you guys updated on that as well. Next question is, are you happy with the shape of your armpits now compared to before? 100%. Even throughout the discomfort and how annoying it was and the itchiness and all of that stuff, I want to say that I never once regretted getting surgery. Like, not once did I think, oh, I could have just lived with that bump, because I know how much it affected my confidence. So something like a surgery is obviously not an easy process. It is an expensive process, but it's just 1 to 2 months of discomfort that you feel, after which you get to be comfortable in your body. If I never got surgery done, even now I would be sitting and, overthinking all the outfits that I wear. And this would have been never ending in my mind. Now I want to address the number 1 question that I got. I kept it until the end, so you have all of this information before you have access to the doctor and the costs and all of that stuff. So the doctor that I went to, his name is Dr. Sanjay Parashar. The clinic that I went to is Cocoona Clinic. So the consultation was in Cocoona Clinic in Dubai, but my surgery was done in Dubai London Hospital. I want to clarify, this is not an ad. This is not sponsored in any way. I paid a huge amount of money, which I'm going to tell you in a second. I'm only sharing this because I got so many questions about it. So if you are based in Dubai and you want to know who my surgeon is, that's his name. I'm going to add his Instagram below. He is incredible. I am extremely happy with my results. Conversations like surgery and doctors, all of these are super duper personal, so I'm really wary about sharing this information. Once again, I do not recommend anyone. I'm not going to tell you that you have to go to him. I'm only sharing my surgeon's contact so that you can have a consultation with him and discuss your concerns. And if you feel comfortable, go ahead. But surgery is a very personal choice. The final and the most juiciest answer: how much did my surgery cost? That was a hefty amount of money, let me tell you that. My surgery cost 18,000 dirhams, and this was excluding the blood test. The detailed blood analysis that I had to do cost 1,000 dirhams, nearly 1,000, but there are hospitals that provide certain packages because you have to do a couple of blood tests in one. So yeah, my surgery did cost 18,000 dirhams. For me, I don't have insurance in general, so my surgery was not covered by insurance, but please ask these questions to your doctors. There are some situations in which you can do it under insurance, but for me personally, I had to pay the whole amount. I tried to do tabby, but there was some complications, so when that money went from my bank account, my heart stopped a little bit. But I'm so glad that I got it done. One more thing that I want to cover is gym, physical activity, strain, all of that, because this was a huge concern for me. I was really worried that I was going to be out of the gym for a month, and by the time I come back, I'm going to struggle and all of that stuff. So to answer that question, I had my first gym session yesterday after 1 month of skipping the gym. I was completely fine. I started with leg day. So at this moment, I cannot really do any overhead movements or anything that puts a lot of stress on my arms or my chest or delts. So I'm avoiding that. I've started with lower body workouts. I have not really gained a lot of weight, or I've not really completely lost track. 1 month of that recovery and rest is so important for you. And even when it comes to your surgical site, it is extremely important that you are keeping it dry all the time, that you are cleaning it. Just make sure that you shower and you're keeping that area dry. With that, we have come to an end of this video. I just want to reassure anyone that has this bulge and that has been feeling super insecure about it. I know it feels like such a small thing for everyone else, but inside your mind, it really fucks up your confidence. I have been there. I'm still dealing with, the aftermath of it, but I know what that's like. Don't take too much stress about it, because there are solutions to everything, whether it's fat, whether it is breast glands, whether it is skin. Medicine has advanced so much. You guys, people get a lot of shit done. So if you are really concerned about it, there are fixes. I recommend looking into them. However, if it is something that doesn't really bother you and you're like, you know what, I have that fat. Do I really need surgery? No, you don't. Nobody needs any kind of cosmetic surgery. It just comes down to what you can deal with and how you want to live your life. If you don't have that core need to get surgery done, don't get it done. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But if you were considering, I hope this video has answered all your questions and it has reassured you a little bit. I promise you guys, you can manage it. It's not that painful. Just make sure that you're going to a very good doctor. So I will link my doctor's contact and the clinic below, and I'm also going to give you a contact for his network in India. I'm aware that I have a lot of viewers from India, so I did manage to ask him and give you a network of possible doctors. So that will be in the description box. I hope this video has been helpful. If it has been, please make sure to comment down your thoughts on my decision to go ahead with the surgery. And if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them below. I will address it in possibly another video. Thank you so much for watching this video. We will catch up another time. Bye.